Good evening.
Yo,
Let
man.
me spit out my water, man.
Hey. It is because I feel like it podcast, man. It's Marcus, it's my guy Dorsey, this is Swerve, my guy Marv, man. We are here to talk birds. We're here to talk the Eagles fly. They got a good win on Sunday evening. We're gonna review that. We're going to review a couple of the other games that happened over that weekend, and then we're going to preview this weekend's game, including the game between the Eagles and the Rams. So we're here, man, locked in, ready to talk, man, ready to talk about the birds. What's going on, fellas?
Oh man, I can't call it like I told you before when I first got on here. If I sound a little funky, trying to get over a cold, I hopped on here for the brothers. Didn't want to leave them hanging. But yeah, man, I think this week is a wonderful week. I told you, whenever the Eagles win, man, it's a wonderful week, man. The city, the peace, is much more peaceful around here, and it's not as much drama. So I look forward to this week's game, man, and hopefully, I ain't say hopefully, I feel as though we're gonna pull out another one. So let's enjoy this while we can.
Yeah, brothers. Yeah. What's going on? What's going on, Marv?
Yeah, you know what I'm dealing with. Like, my sinuses is that Dorsey in the same boat. I got sinus infection, but I was like, I'm not gonna not do this tonight
Right.
because I feel like I need to get some things off my chest about last week and this week. And like I said, I'm enjoying the run. Um, they played good enough to win last Sunday. They played, and and I'm going to address this, but it feels good to play B minus football and still win by double digits. It
Yeah,
plays. It feels good to have a team. When your team is so good that you can play B minus football and win a game against a decent Packers team. It wasn't. The Packers ain't trash. But when your team can play B minus football and win a football game by double digits, you have to feel good no matter what. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to address a lot of what's going on in the media. But at the end of the day, they did what they had to do to win. We got out of there relatively healthy, and I'm excited for what Sunday holds.
same here, man. It's just want to make sure my guys. They right now they was game time decisions, but we like I said, like they said, they here. Um, I got a lot to say, especially in regards to how the media, the Broad Street media, is talking about Hurts in regards to what they think he should be doing and what reality is. So, what were I'm gonna start with Dorsey, man. What were your thoughts about the game on Sunday?
I mean, the energy was live. It was loud. That's what you play to get the home field advantage for, because you need that during tough times in the game. I think the defense uh, did their job, played lights out. Um, the offense, when they had opportunities to score or put themselves in position to score, they actually scored. I'll take that. Um, a few not so good takeaways, I took from it as I'm watching it, was that our OC needs to do a better job of scheming and dialing up plays. And throughout the course of the game, I watch the games with my pop, right? And we'll sit there. He's just watching, but I'm dissecting everything that we do. And for a team that we played that we've already beaten, I promise you, there are at least 10 to 12 plays that we ran the first game that we did not run at all the second game. And I'm not trying to paint it in a negative picture. I believe you do what you got to do to win. And like Swerve said, it was a double-digit win. But there was a lot of different schemes that we didn't run. There were a few different targets, people we didn't target, and I think moving forward, as much, we just spoke on, as much as everybody wants to jump on Jalen Hurts' back, you need to look at Kellen Moore as well. The spotlight should be more on saying the word more. The spotlight should be directed at Kellen Moore instead of Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts worked with what was available. And I'm not sure if you guys follow Dan Orlovsky,
Dan
but
Orlovsky, yeah, I watched that over and
yeah,
over again, and he highlighted and pinpointed a lot.
yeah, at least
I
5 or 6
agree.
plays where
Where the
brothers ain't
Packers knew
open. Exactly where
Packers
they were
knew
going.
exactly what was doing.
Yeah, so I look at that and I say, well, we've always been a great second half team this year. Well, we'll come out in the second half and give you a little bit of what you hadn't seen, or if you have seen it, you couldn't stop it. We're going to keep bringing it. I think in this particular game, um, there could have been some more things used, and they played similar to us, like a nice shell defense on that back end, but they were sending the house every other play. So it's one of those things where Kellen Moore just has to do better on his end. But I like what we did. I actually loved it. I mean, a win is a win, a dub is a dub. So yeah, I'll take it from there. I'll take that win all day.
What you thinking, Marv?
Yeah. I'm thinking like this, like we got out of there with a dub. Um, Offensively, again, the media is going to put it on Hurts, but like Dor said, I watched Dan Orlovsky point out like 6 or 7 plays where it was completely blanketed,
Yeah,
right? So, like I watched it, I watched it on Monday, and then I watched it again on Tuesday, and I think to myself, I'm like, did they just feel like they were the better team on Sunday, and they didn't have to open the playbook up because you played them once before, you knew what worked, and you went with what worked. And then at the end of what didn't work, you were just like, we have 26, and we're just gonna, and we have the best offensive line in football, and this is gonna get us there. Or is Kellen Moore that bad of a play caller? I don't believe Kellen Moore is that bad of a play caller
mm-mm.
because
No.
we've seen him what he done with Dak. We've seen his Dallas work, and he wasn't bad in with the Chargers. So I think part of it was them holding back a little bit, not showing their full hand because they just felt like at the end of the day they were the better football team. And we're not going to discredit the Packers defense because that is a top defense in the league, and it's the number one when it comes to zone percentage. They play a lot of zone, and their zone works for them. They played zone, especially they were going to play a lot of zone, especially missing Jair. Like without Jair there, they were definitely going to play zone, and they were going to come out in a shell, and they were going to make Jalen like it makes perfect sense. We're going to take Saquon away from you, and we're going to make the quarterback who hasn't played in a month beat us. Like and it worked. We got the early turnover. Jalen hit Jahan for the touchdown, and and then the defense played outstanding. I would have liked to capitalize a little more off those turnovers. We capitalized off the first one, but the other ones we didn't do exactly what I would have liked. But I attribute some of that to Jalen not playing for almost a month. Like you, and then Saquon slid. So we're really looking at 29-10 if Saquon doesn't slide. We're
Right.
looking at 29-10. If Jake doesn't miss the extra point, it's 30.
30-10. Yeah,
30
absolutely.
to 10. So that's what I'm saying. Even on a B minus game, you're looking at 30 to 10. I also think this. Like there was a few third and shorts where they called pass plays
Crazy
or
play.
they did crazy plays because I think they were protecting Jalen because those are normally tush pushes in those situations. Or those are like handed off to the running back and get us a yard on 3rd and 3, get us a yard and a half because we're going for it on fourth. I don't think they felt that it was that urgent against the Packers to use the tush push or do certain things. So I'm fine with it. Like at the end of the day, Buddy was 13 for 21, had 111 QBR rating, threw a touchdown pass, didn't turn the ball over. We got out of there with a win. And if you look at it and say 22-10 wasn't dominant, but it wasn't dominant. The score doesn't show how much the Eagles dominated the Packers.
Difference, yeah.
The score don't show how much the Eagles dominated that game. Like the game was never close. Like realistically, the game was not 22. It wasn't a 22-10 game. It really was more like a 35-10 game, 30 something to 10 game.
Right.
But we can attribute it to Russ. We can attribute it to Kellen Moore. Maybe Kellen Moore was protecting Hurts because he knew he was coming off the concussion. Because that was probably the worst game I've seen Kellen Moore call in a long time.
Especially in the first half, man. Like I was, it threw me, especially the second half or the second quarter. Saquon ended up with 9 carries in the first half, but he had 1 carry in the second quarter. I'm like, hey, look, man, like when he started off the game, he was cooking. And then you say, well, I'm not going to give him the ball the rest of the second quarter. That was weird to me. You know what I'm saying? So on that, so you got that part. But really what surprised me, was I thought that the Packers had a halfway decent defense. However, they're like Dan said, there was nowhere for them to throw because that defense is way better than what people thought they were. Mm-hmm. And that was without Jair.
Without Jair, right? Because once Jair got hurt, right? They completely switched. They became a total zone team,
right? And they went to the team,
and they played their zones excellently. They probably are I'm not sure, but I want to say they're probably the highest ranked zone defense passing wise in the league. Like, because they played excellent. And before they lost to the Bears in Week 18. But before that defense was sturdy without Jair.
And people don't understand. Like, look at you. People want to discredit the Packers, right? Yes, the Eagles should have beaten them. However, look at who they lost to. They lost to two. They lost to a 14-win team. And then 2 times to a 15-2 team.
They lost, and then the Bears on the final week. And the Bears are way better than what their record shows.
Right. Yeah, that's like they weren't some mock team. They were 5th in total defense.
Yeah.
So yes, it makes total sense. Even though AJ is AJ and Devontae is Devontae, it makes total sense why they only got about 1 catch. AJ only got 1 catch the entire game, and then Devontae got 4?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he went off. It was really just Goddard.
But two of them was Hurts breaking contain and finding him behind the linebacker and between the linebacker and safety. 2 of those catches were second route. The second route that was their second routes. Like it was, he caught Smith, but behind the backer and between the safety. Like the Packers defense is legit.
Yeah. If it wasn't, and you hate to say it because I like Jordan Love, but if it wasn't for him playing the way he was, it might have. Hey, it could have been a real game.
Could have been a way tighter game.
And I'm gonna shoot him some bail. I do think he was still his elbow was still hurting.
No, but he was still he wasn't right. He wasn't right.
Because some of those balls he was skipping.
If it was a regular season game, Love doesn't play.
Yeah, I think they played. They had the gamesmanship, do all that and make sure that they didn't put it out there. But he wasn't.
Yeah, Love was.
But then obviously we get to the Kobe Dean injury. It is a blow. It is a blow, but
It is.
in game, in game with how they were playing defensively, I think that Fangio, covered it up enough, and Burks got in there, and he did what he could at that time. If the game would have been closer, you might have been a little bit of concern because they were throwing the Jacobs out of the backfield, and some of them times that man couldn't catch him. It would have been scary if the game would have been closer, but I think with another week under his belt and then bringing in Trot Jr. here and there, I think that'll be okay, man. But we're gonna miss N'Kobe a little bit. I definitely would say that.
I think we are. I also believe like scheme wise, I think Vic is going to figure it out.
Yeah,
Like Vic puts people in position to be successful. Like we had that talk. We had the talk where I said Jalen Carter was going to be great this year because Vic figured it out. CJ coming back, like Vic figures it out. Vic he tailors his calls and schemes towards the talent that he has.
yes, yeah,
So Burks is a bruiser. He didn't look bad, and you know what? He played the week before and didn't look bad. But he had that week he knew he was starting. So it was certain things that were put into place to make him comfortable. And I think now we have Braun. Braun's gonna be the guy calling D, and he's gonna get everybody together. I'm not concerned um, with if it's Trot or if it's Burks. They just next man up,
yeah, and it's just
next man up.
and it's crazy just to look back at the game. Like other than the N'Kobe, other than the N'Kobe injury, and then again, and we got to talk about this. Jake Elliott missing extra points, man. Like I don't know. There's nowhere you can go. There's nowhere you can go to get another kicker right now. It's just not going to happen.
Oh no,
It's just not going to happen, man. And so I just don't know what the. It's just like you got your hands in the air, man. You just hope you get him as close as he can, on field goals, get down there as close as you can, and just make it as easy as you can for him. But if not, I'm telling you, I don't have faith in him at anything over 25 yards.
Whew.
Like, I don't. I just don't, man. How do y'all feel about him?
I'll be brief. At the end of the day, he's got a job to do, and he has not been consistent at this job this year. As you said, it's too late to bring somebody in. Like, it's not a competition at this point, but you can't. There's nobody on the street you could be like, oh, this guy's automatic. Sit down, Jake. We got this automatic kicker. None of that's going on. There's nobody out there like that. But I mean, it's a team game. Offense, defense, special teams. And Jake has bailed us out of some games, some 61-yarders, some 50 plus. Like, he's definitely bailed us out. And it was a luxury to have. Like, it was a blessing to have somebody who could do that. But I think now, as we just talked about Kellen Moore, like, you got to almost act like he's not even there. Like, put that in the back of your head, like you said. Maybe not 25 and in, but damn, maybe that's how they need to be thinking, 25 and in. So we can't, stall out or call certain plays, once we get beyond the 50. Maybe we need to start, thinking of the game as get as many points as you possibly can early and let the defense, do what they're going to do. But we don't have a kicker who can bail us out, man. I mean, this is the crazy part. This is league wide. Like, two of the best kickers the game has seen in a long time in Justin Tucker, Jake Elliott, the McPhersons. All these dudes have been terrible.
What do you think it is? What do you think you can attribute it to, though? Is it the new kickoff rules? Is it how they're what is it? Is it just they all went to the same lake and had a retreat and came back?
Yeah, I think that's it, bro. Because it can't be the kickoff rule because most teams don't have their kicker doing all that work. Sometimes the punter it could be the kicker. But even then, it's not like you got to accurately do that. Just blast that thing down there. It's not like, you're trying to kick it between the uprights. So I think with Jake, I mean,
I don't know, man.
he's been in the league for a while now. And, with kickers, we've seen it for so long where these guys are steady eddies. I just think right now he's at a point in his career where, he may need to take the little things more seriously. I mean, every kicker that we know to be a good kicker has been terrible this year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean, I'm kind of over it, to be honest. I'm just like, look, the extra point, you always want to look at it and say, man, I hope that doesn't come back to haunt us. I think that just on the strength of, well, it shouldn't, because if our offense does what it needs to do and they utilize all the weapons, there's not a defense in the NFL besides ours, and this is speaking bias, I know, besides ours, that you can say they've got 2 corners, a nickel, 2 safeties, and backers that can hold down the receiving core that we have. I haven't seen a team yet that can match up with us 1-for-1, but we're also not taking advantage of all of our weapons. We're not, we're not calling up plays to make a team sit back on their heels and wonder what we're going to do. The Packers knew what was going to happen, and I think, and I think that plays a part into it. So, I mean, to better answer your question, the offense needs to be more creative. It needs to be more aggressive in its tactics, and I think we'll get Jake within that 25 to 30 range where he's just booting them on in and extra points. But I mean, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. If your job is to weld, you weld. That's what you do. Like, there ain't no way around it. So that's
Absolutely, man.
Remember, we played some franchise that I'm not going to speak their name, and their kicker got hurt.
Yeah, and Camus Gouger, we had our darn linebacker kicking field goals and kicking off.
Yep.
Might be time to bring you back.
That's my motto. That's my motto from now. Go for 2. Go for 2. Fourth and whatever, because keep the offense on the field. Like, I really, Chicken Little is struggling.
Bad, dude.
And like, Chicken Little is struggling. I think, like, what's wild is I wanted a Jake Elliott jersey. Like, you don't get kicker jerseys that often. Like, so, like, David Akers was for me. You feel me?
Yeah.
David Akers was for me. But Jake Elliott might be my actual favorite Eagles kicker of all time.
David Akers, of course. Hands down.
No, Jake kicked that Jones 61 for the Giant win. Like,
he did. David Akers, no, I remember that.
But David Akers is the man. But if I had to pick between a David Akers and a Jake Elliott jersey, I would take a Jake Elliott jersey. Like, maybe it's just a one-off. Like, maybe he's dealing with something in his personal life.
You never know.
I feel like this. I feel like this. Like in boxing, you see a guy who's just dominant, and then overnight he loses it, right?
Right.
You see a guy like that. Like, you might see a guy like a Janikowski who has a huge leg, but he's never been accurate, but he has that leg where he will boom it. And then, like, okay, he gets a little older, and now he don't have that leg from 57, 58, and now he's useless because he was never accurate from 45 anyway. But we know, like, Janikowski might miss from 45, but then you run him back out there from 58, and he nails it. Like,
but
Jake,
he's just missing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jake has been, like, spot on. And Jake's still young. So I don't think his leg is dead. I think it's mental.
Yeah.
I think it's mental. Like, I'm not ready to give up on Jake. But if it's 4th and 1.5 from the third, if it's 4th and 1.5 from like the 25, I'm okay with him going for it.
It's
I'm
just
okay with him going for it, especially after Jake missed an extra point. Like if Jake misses an extra point in a game, and then Sirianni is like, "Nah, we keeping the offense on. We riding the offense." Like, and like you said, there's too much talent on that offense for us to be selling for three all the time anyway.
right.
Especially with the way the defense is playing. Like, I'm okay if we're at the 48 going. If we're at the 48 and it's 4th and 2, and you decide to go for it because that defense has been playing lights out all year, and I don't expect them to have an off game. And even if they're off, we have firepower. You have a top five number one. You have a top three number two. You have Goddard who's healthy. And shout to Jalen for checking that down. That we didn't give Jalen his credit because Jalen checked into that play and tossed it to Goddard, and then Goddard stiff jabbed my man 7 times on the way to the end zone. But like
You
he
know,
can't even he can't even talk crazy to his son. Like, look, hey boy, take out the trash. Pop, you got to chill before I call Dallas Goddard. Like
hey,
over
McKinney,
and mush you some more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have a one who's probably the best 50-50 ball receiver in the league since Des Bryant. Like AJ Brown is a dog, right?
yeah,
Then you have Slim Reaper, who is a dog and would be a one on 18 teams. If Devontae Smith could be the number one receiver on 18 teams in the NFL.
yep.
Then you have Dallas Goddard, who, if you don't have Kelsey Kittles, Brock Bowers, Laporta, Trey McBride had a really, really, really good year. But if you, I could probably name 6 or 7 tight ends that are better than a healthy Dallas Goddard, right?
Right.
And then you have the best offensive line in the NFL who just punches people like they just bully you, like they just wear you down. They just wear you down. And then to top it off, you bought in 26. You replaced 26 from the Super Bowl run with the guy who started in front of 26 in college.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why these dudes shouldn't. Like, I'm comfortable, and you know what's weird is that It makes me. I'm so comfortable. It's nervous. It makes me nervous
I'm not worried about them. I'm
because
just
no, because I'm an Eagles fan, and like we always are so used to expecting the worst.
that's because I'm gonna tell you why that happens though. I'm gonna tell you why. It's because, and I'm not. It's not a majority. It's not all, but it's definitely a good chunk that. It took me. Obviously I left home, right? It took me leaving home. It took me traveling around the world. It took me traveling around the country and seeing sports in other states, other cities, other countries, and then looking back and coming home and realizing people you be very humble and grateful of what you have. You know what I'm saying? Currently, right now in the state in the city of Philly, I'm obviously that we're not gonna talk about the 76ers because they're ass right now. But just with the Eagles in general, most cities like Cincinnati, like a Cleveland, like a Jacksonville, like teams that's never been to the Super Bowl, never won a Super Bowl, never had a thought or never been close enough to. I mean, they've been there, but may have just got crushed when they got there.
Hmm.
And the thing is, we and I say that in the Delaware Valley, you know, because I'm not going to speak for all the folks that live in Philly. Philly is Philly. You know what I'm saying? Everyone else is cousins and uncles to Philly, you know, cousins and all that to Philly. But understand that, dude, it is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like once you go out and see other things and come back, you see it. A lot of the time, be grateful for what you have in Philly, man. You have we've waited for years. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have passed on and never seen this era of winning with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? They haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? Some of our own have passed on and haven't seen it. You know, we are now seeing an era. Be grateful you have it. Be grateful you're not. Be grateful you're not in Dallas right now, where you ain't seen some kids are 30, 35, 40, and don't remember. They might know what they know when they was a toddler, or be a Commanders fan. They never seen you.
I'm about to say, look at Washington. Shout out to Rachel. Rachel, I got to throw a punt. I got to throw a shot at y'all. Rachel was in high school the last time the Commanders won a playoff game. That sound about right? She might have been in middle school. Lord Jesus, you ain't that old. You ain't that old, right? You're 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the 2017 was a curse and a blessing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was something that we all wanted to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we all waited and waited and waited. And then it happened. And to me, it was such a relief. Like, it was such a relief. And because I was an angry Eagles fan. And I was angry. Like, but you have to understand, like, I've been through the Ray Rose. I've been through the Rich Kotites. I watched Andy choke away so many opportunities, right? Yeah. Then you have Doug Peterson, who was the guy that nobody wanted. We have the guy that nobody wanted. Like, if we're being 100% honest, nobody wanted Dougie P here. Like, Dougie P came in, and then we drafted this weirdo from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
And he wasn't supposed to start. We bought in Chase Daniels, who I think hates the Eagles because he felt like that was his opportunity. Chase was the quarterback, the backup, right? That the first year. Chase Daniels was the best.
Yeah, and then we had Bradford too.
Yeah, but
no, they traded Bradford, right?
They traded Bradford in the offseason. That's how Carson got the job to be the starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like Chase Daniels was the backup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought Chase felt like that was his opportunity. And then, Wentz got hurt in the preseason, and it was just like, oh, we gonna rock out with this kid. And it was like, the first year wasn't bad. And then we came back and they brought Nick Foles in. Shout out to my guy. And we caught lightning in a bottle. But that whole time, like, realistically, I'm gonna be 100% real. I didn't think the Eagles was gonna win a Super Bowl. Like,
not even on that run?
No. Like, bro, like, that first half in Atlanta was horrible. That first half, looking back, that first half against Atlanta and was disgusting, right? And whatever they said to Nick at halftime and whatever they did, like, if you tell me Julio on Jalen Mills, if I have to put Jalen Mills on Julio Jones to decide who wins the game for one play. Who wins? Who you telling me wins that game?
Yeah, but the break we got to bring it back up to. We got to bring it back up to now.
No, I'm saying like so we we did that. Then you go into Minnesota and Patrick Robinson played. But the interception, like that was crazy. Like then you go and you knock Brandon Crooks out the game and you beat Tom Brady, right? And you finally, as Eagles fans, we finally get that thing that we coveted the most. And I became soft. I became soft as an Eagles fan. I became soft. But you know what it did? Like Eagles fans either went one of two directions. You either became like me, like I done got one, so I don't care anymore, or you expected the Eagles to go on a run like the Patriots.
Yeah, but I
The
mean,
following year, Alshon drops that ball against the Saints. Boom. Now we move on. We get Sirianni. We've had he's made the playoffs in 4 years, right? He's made the playoffs. The first year was unexpected. The second year we go to the Super Bowl. A BS pass interference call, a BS call against the Chiefs, Bradbury, probably is the reason we don't have a second ring.
yeah, but
We whatever for whatever reasons internally, that team fell apart last year. So, like as much optimism as I have, I always want to be like it's still the birds, but I feel calm this year. Like that defense calms me. Like I still don't believe how well they're playing. Like that defense is legit. I every day I wake up and I'm like, yo, like that defense is legit. Like so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna lead into previewing against the Rams. That defense is legit. Vic doesn't panic. You know, when I realized the defense was really, really legit and Vic doesn't panic, and that's why I feel like whatever he does with Burks or whatever he does with Trot, whatever he does replacing Dean is going to be okay. Because you know what my first intuition was, and it might have been a slight panic move, but now looking back, this is why I'm not a defensive coordinator. When Graham got hurt, guess what I would have did? Took Braun off the ball and moved him to the outside.
Mm, mm.
Took Braun off the ball and moved him to the outside. Because that's how I think. Like we just lost Graham, and we have a guy who's playing outstanding off the ball, which nobody knew he could do. But I've seen Braun play outside, and I think Braun would have been successful, but it would have weakened us on the inside. Like it's just these are the things I think about like every day. Like I would have moved Braun to outside to replace Graham, but they didn't, and it worked, and it's working. And I have to tell myself every day, like, bro, this we're good. Like, yeah, stop always thinking negative and stop being such a miserable ass dude. But it's just I mean I'm conditioned. I seen Ray Rose. I seen Rich Cote. I watch Andy. Like I watch Andy blow games, and it's just like I think we're conditioned. Like you said, we watched the Sixers. We sat through the process just to get this crap we're getting on the floor now. I watched the Phillies blow uh, the NLCS against Arizona. So it's like I think as Philadelphia fans, we come into it already 73% negative, and we're not used to it. But it's no reason to trash my boy number one. Number one does what he does. All he does is win.
yeah, but as far as the Rams go, man, I am I'm okay with where they're at right now. Like as far as what I've seen, obviously the first time we played them, um, it's gonna be a little different because BG's not gonna be there and Kobe's not gonna be there. But as far as everyone else goes, I think they should be fine. I think just obviously Stafford's been in the league 15 years, so he's seen a lot of stuff. So you're going to have to change a couple things up to go after him. But as long as you control the run, as long as you control Kyron Williams, as long as you control him, that takes away the play action pass. That once Stafford gets in the rhythm, you know what I'm saying? As long as you take that away, you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what you don't because what you don't want to do is let them get going with this running game. You take that away, now you make him a straight drop back pass. And that way, because all of these exotic motions and all that is built off of them being able to run the ball, right? And you see how they keep running Cooper and Nakua going across the field all the time. But it's because the running
linebackers have to step up. The linebackers have to step up to defend the run, and they catch you between the linebackers and the safeties.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
I think you just got to punch them in the mouth. Like, just do what you've been doing. Like, I feel like this. Like, this is what I look at it like we've all been in fights in our life. Like, and I'm not one of them dudes. Like, I done got beat up before. Like, so then it's like you see somebody that done beat you up and you want to get your get back. You want to get your lick back, right? So you like, oh man, this dude did this to me last time. I'm ready for it. So I think the Rams are going into it like, oh man, they just punched us in the face and they just ran the ball. They just did what they wanted to do against us. And now I think the Rams are like, we get ready to prove a point. Like, we not going to let y'all do that to us again. You know the worst feeling in the world is when you tell somebody, oh, you beat my ass last time I seen you by punching me in the face and doing this to me, and I'm not going to let you do that to me this time. And then they come out and do the exact same thing to you that they did to you the first time, and you have no answers or no questions. You have no answer for what they're doing to you. It's demoralizing. And if I'm the Eagles, the first drive of the game, I'm handing the ball off to 26 5-6 times in a row.
Yep.
This is what we're doing tonight.
What you think gonna happen, Dorsey?
I mean, everything he's saying. These are all valid points, but I think the part that people also forget is that AJ was tearing ass. Like, AJ had both catches on the outside, across the middle, the touchdown catch. He was dragging people, hitting them with the dead leg, getting downfield. Like, they can't sit in that zone all day. Like, it's one of those things where you know what their weak spot is, and it's the run. And it's not because they can't play the run, it's because they're undersized up front. Right. And we got to run the ball downhill. We have to be physical. They feel, again, I literally have watched that game back a couple times, like at least 3 or 4 times. And it's not that they were not in position. They were in position. But by the time they got to Saquon, it just took 1 or 2 moves and he was gone. Or it took one good cut and he was gone. So they can sell out for that all they want. But eventually you're going to have to not have to respect, but the team. Like, I watched that game and I say the team they face is not the same team and vice versa. And the Swerve's point, I thought you were going to say this when you were talking about when you realized, that the team was different or that Vic was that dude was the Rams game. Because that's when I noticed it. When I was like, okay, we got somebody here. Because the same thing that caused us to lose in the Super Bowl showed up that night in L.A., and instead of him just saying, all right, let's see what they do, he was like, nah. You do this, you do that. So
this is exactly what we doing to stop that right now.
Mm-hmm. So the second time they did it, they bring it across. Well, there's 2 things. 2 things that most people aren't talking about too. No Darius Slay So that meant you had Rodgers, who didn't get, the proper bump. I think Rodgers can play, but Rodgers played dang near 3/4 of the game out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, running all over. But once they figured out what was going on, if you see, and it's not a fake, what you like, trust what you see. Scoob, and I wish Scoob was on here. I used to listen to Scoob tell these DBs and these linebackers, trust what you see. Trust what your eyes are showing you, man. So if this dude is going in motion, he ain't going in motion for the hell of it. There's a purpose behind him going in motion. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, when they go in motion, it ain't dress material. The ball's going that way.
That way.
So the last time they pulled that move off, he goes in motion. They get a nice deep pass on Rodgers. They go for it again. I don't know if it was 4th down or 3rd down.
Coop was right there.
Coop was there, but Bourne, there was a play where Bourne comes over top and knocks the ball down.
Yeah.
Where he was like, we ain't worried about y'all running the rock for real. So all that play action stuff is cute. I got to protect these flats. And I think now with them having Higbee back, that changes right. A lot as well.
Yeah. Yes.
But overall, in this, this divisional round preview, as we're calling it, the Eagles defense, as Swerve said, is a very great. It's a great. This is probably one of the better. This defense is better than 2017's defense. The difference is we don't have the gaudy numbers with all the sacks. You feel me? Like we don't got all the sack numbers. But in terms of corner for corner, safety for safety, position by position, this 11 overall is playing better than that 11. And let's also remember, Jake Elliott was a pickup off the Bengals practice squad, so he's a backup. We end up bringing in my baby Darby. Darby gets hurt in the Washington game, so now they throw Jalen Mills out there. He wasn't no starter. He wasn't no starter.
Right.
And you look at that team and you say, damn, they overcame a lot. So I get the underdog thing. This team is not an underdog team. Everybody's been playing from this position, that position. BG goes down. Nolan Smith is looking dope. And like I said last show, and I still believe it because I watched him now enough to know he ain't it, and we may have to cut our losses, is that Huff was not a pick that Fangio.
Oh, man,
he ain't it.
My man did he even get a snap in the game?
He got some snaps at the end. Yeah, he got some tick, but
did he get it in the meat of the game though?
No, no tick in the meat. It was or Hunt, and then they even sat Sweaty because Sweaty got dinged up a little bit. So then they went to this particular package where you got like you got Joseph Mojo, you got Mojo,
you got Milton Williams.
Yeah, Milton. And then they would put like Nolan on the outside, and then they would roll down somebody, but we didn't.
It was like a 5-2. It was more like a 5-2.
Yeah.
But you still didn't.
Bryce Huff is going to be in Atlanta next year.
Yeah, Bryce Huff ain't going to be here.
He's going to. Bryce Huff, start looking for apartments in Atlanta.
What'd you say?
You said what?
I said I feel so bad for him. Like, dude, like, cause it ain't like he didn't. Like, he just ain't done nothing.
Well, you know what? Maybe Bryce Huff has a 2-sack game on Sunday, 2.5-sack game on Sunday, and he bides his time. But I would be
2-sack game. That means somebody got hurt, or we win in
no.
big.
I think Bryce Huff should just start looking at apartments or condos in Stone Mountain.
Yeah,
because they need Atlanta. After Atlanta's going to be in the market for a pass rusher, and we have one available for you.
Yeah,
just not one of the ones that played at Georgia, wherever Bryce Huff came from. You can have 0.
Bryce Huff, he a Memphis boy.
Memphis, yeah, he came
Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know how they do.
Look, we've done well in Memphis. That's where Jake is from, and that's where Gainwell's from. But this guy
Gainwell,
ain't it.
Gainwell, we 2 for 3 ain't bad.
Ain't bad at all, Jack. Ain't bad at all. But overall, I just think this team versus the Rams, I mean, you like they keep saying, like, don't make it more than what it needs to be. Don't make it bigger than what it is. Like I said, that home field advantage is key. You know, that gives you, that extra rest, that gives you that energy, that pop. We needed that. But then, like you said, like you said, to start the show off, talking about Saquon, like you ain't bring Saquon here to do nothing other than close out games.
These are the games you brought him here for.
Yes, next 3 games, Saquon games. This
is it. Like, you know what I'm calling this weekend? It's running back weekend. Because I believe the reason the Eagles win is because of 26, and the reason the Ravens win is because of 22. Like, you did not bring these guys in
to throw the ball 100 times.
For any other reason than when it's 22 degrees outside and the weather is iffy and the passing game might not be what you need it to be. You need that guy in the backfield that can hit a home run.
Yep.
And
the weather's going to matter this Sunday.
The weather, I was about to say, 3 of the 4 games are going to be unders. 3 of the 4 games are going to go under, right? Because I believe the Baltimore-Buffalo game, Baltimore's going to, you got 22 and you got 8, and you stick to that plan. Same way with the Eagles this week. If it snows, it's going to be 20 degrees at kickoff, 25 degrees at kickoff. You got road graders. You have Becton. You got Dickinson. You got Juergens. I'm running the ball straight ahead. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Hurts under center more than we've ever seen him this season. If he lines up under center a lot more on Sunday.
He's too damn small. The Rams are just too small, man.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They're too. Versus a dog. The other bull, the white bull that they got is a dog, but they lighten their ass. Like, I got 5 guys up front, and then I got 26. And then I'm gonna run straight at you. And until you have to commit enough people to stop me from running straight at you. And then once you stop me from running straight at you, if you give me one-on-ones on the outside, that's a problem. Because I got 11 and I got 6. And if you roll coverage then I got one who can fake it. We can go to the RPO. My issue with Moore is he falls in love with the RPO a little too much for me. And that is the only issue. We're not RPOing on Monday. We're not RPOing on Sunday. We're running. If I'm the offensive coordinator, ain't no RPO. I'm running until you prove to me you can stop. Hey, Doris, your dad and my dad used to be like, oh, halfback die. halfback die. Why do we keep running halfback die? Because we getting 4 yards a pop on a halfback dive. Why do we need to stop running a halfback dive until they can stop us from running halfback dive?
Yeah.
So I'm running halfback dive.
And what they're running up there, it only makes sense because, I mean, we know football. We get it. I've been teaching my Sunday game, so he understands. I'm like, when they put these dudes in motion, it's just a quick read to see if they in zone or man. If they sitting in zone, run the rock. It's very simple math. Run the rock. So if they want to do that, run the rock. If they want to play man, like you said, you got 11, 6, 88, and now even 83. You can't put no bum on him. He gave his
And,
catches.
and, and, and I told y'all, I'm not giving up on 83. I think he
No,
caught a
I
bad
can't
rap
do
because he came here
Yeah.
and he came here
that.
and didn't get a preseason, and then he got tossed into the mix with AJ and Devontae both being hurt. 83 has talent, and
Yeah.
83 can. And if 83 can have an Aguilar like run that Aguilar had, if 83 can put together an Aguilar like run for this playoffs, we in good shape.
And don't be afraid to check down either, man. Like
No, don't check down because
the last
Calcaterra and Calcaterra and Goddard are both viable options.
right, but I mean, what I'm saying is, they check. Don't be afraid to check down to the running backs either. You know what I'm saying? Because Saquon had what 4 catches for like
40,
$47, 47.
47 against the Rams. 47 against the Rams.
I mean, the Rams are going to give you. They're going to give you things because they can't afford. There's some things they can't afford to let you do,
Mm-hmm.
like run.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to give you. They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I would hate to have to the game plan against. I would rather game plan against Cooper and Puka than I would have to game plan against the Eagles because there's just too much, and I'm light. And then the worst part about it is when that takes place, I am going my team is going to get tired at some point in time. And if I'm down in the beginning of the third quarter or at the beginning of the fourth, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And because I'm tired and because I'm undersized, I know there is absolutely, even though I'm going to give you everything I got, there's nothing I can do.
Here's what I say to this. There are no Aaron Donalds on the field on Sunday.
Okay.
And when we played against them
For the Rams.
for the Rams, there's no Aaron Donald on the field for them. And when they had him, we still dominated them. We still dominated up front. He said it out his mouth. He just never had a sack against the Eagles. And that's a hard thing to say as, from a future Hall of Famer that you've never gotten a sack, on the Birds. So it's one of those things where as we talk about these individual players, let's go, hats off to Stout, because I'm sure in that second half of that game, he asked them boys up front, yo, what do you see? Like a good coach is going to ask you, what do you see? What's going on? And they had to have said, look, we leaning on them boys. They wearing down. Let's keep doing this. Keep doing it. They're wearing down. And from that perspective, I think knowing there's not a lot of beef up front, knowing that these linebackers, you saw what they did. Like, I'm like, all right, you got 9 sacks, and no disrespect, he's a Delawarean, but you going up against Brian O'Neill. Like, that ain't Lane Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, that was easy work as far as getting after them. We ain't
They
them.
bullied the Rams. They bullied the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
But the Vikings, yeah.
But I was like, you know what's crazy? It's like if I go back, I go back and I watch that game against. I watched Saquon could have ran for 350.
Easy. He had at least 2 of them I watched early in the game where they just happened to trip him up.
Trip him up. They just happened to trip him up.
He already got the first down and was about to be coasting.
Yeah.
Even on the screenplay towards the end, had he cut right instead of left, he probably breaks the tackle and walks on into the end zone. Like, it's a lot.
It's like it's a lot. And I'm not cocky. I like it. I'm comfortable.
I'm
okay.
comfortable. But I also think you said something earlier, and I know they're going to play Oren Burks. He's a vet.
Right.
He was just in a Super Bowl last year.
Like literally, yeah.
He was just in a Super Bowl, right? He played damn near the whole game once my man got hurt.
Greenlaw.
Yeah, once Greenlaw got hurt, he was solid in Green Bay. Smart guy from Vandy. Like, I know why they want to play him, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But the one thing I noticed, if I'm a, we can talk birds, but I don't want to be all yeah, rah, rah, kumbaya. The catch and run by Weeks where he ran in the ball and then my man took off up the field, that was
because he
on
was out of place.
And then and then the Jacobs run, it was poor tackling. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna play Trot, it's because of the tackling, and they showed the differences. You feel me? Like side by side, Trot comes downhill proper. Where Burks, he's a little, a little leaner, a little longer,
more handsy too.
Yeah, he's flying all in. Yeah,
he's more. Even if you see it on the kickoff return where he got Nixon.
Yeah,
he got him because he was tackling up top,
up high. Yeah, up high, diving out at him. And I think
sometimes like when Jacobs got him with the stiff, he got him because he went high.
Yeah,
he went high.
If he just would have went at his hips, watched the man's hips and got him at his legs, he would have got him. But every time it seems like when he misses, he's going high, and I'm like,
he's going high.
Yeah, you need to stop that.
I think two things you do, and I could be wrong in the order of which, because I know what I remember from young Trot at Clemson, and I know what I see today. And if I'm going to play Trotter, it's on the early downs, going downhill, to lay the thump, lay the wood. On passing down, I'm going with Burks. But I say that because in that first game, Kobe Dean was tearing ass. Like I
was just about to say,
everybody.
He picked Kyron Williams up when he came on. That Kyron Williams didn't want to block no more pass protection. Dean laid in his ass so bad.
So I think you bring Trot in for that. Like you.
That's what I said to you, George, and that's why if I'm blitzing the linebacker, hey, I want because I promise you, and if y'all watch that game. It happened early. Yeah. It happened early on the passing down. They sent 17, and he hit Williams.
Oh, I heard it. And you can hear it.
Yeah.
And when I tell you this, we done played the game, boy. I done came back to the huddle and said, "Look, fam, like look, hey, bro." You might want to get rid of that ball a little bit early because I'm not doing this all night.
So I think
17 laid into Williams to the point where it was like, I know what Williams said going back into the huddle. Hey, bro, I'm trying to play another 4 or 5 years. I'm not doing this 2 or 3 more times tonight. Yeah. So if you send in Trot in the game, if you blitzing the linebacker, it's going to be Trot because Trot goes downhill and he's going to make them pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we on the same page because I was just like, N'Kobe, Vic sent N'Kobe 3 or 4 times that game.
Yeah.
And every time he sent them,
he got home.
That running back paid the price.
Yep. So that means you can't do your play. Again, this is what it boils down to is we said earlier in the year, or we said earlier, just there's a grown man in the room. So when Fangio was in there, he knows, like, all right, you like to play action? I know that's your thing. That's not just a Matt Stafford thing. That's a Sean McVay thing. Whether it was Ball or anybody, that's what they do. So he's going to bring it so that if you want to play action with him and I send him, I'm going to kill you. Like, that's what you want
to running do. Back. You going to go through 3 or 4 running backs tonight because whoever stepping up to protect your quarterback is getting punished.
Yeah.
And that N'Kobe dogged Williams that night.
And it sounds crazy because what were we? 8-2 at the time. We were 8-2 at the time. So I'm just being honest. We were not the same team in terms of we just didn't even understand the schematics, bro. Like when I look back at that first game against the Packers, Jokers was all over the place. And that, like I said, so when Gardner Johnson almost had that interception last week, that's just knowing where to be. Like
where to be. He's in position.
We didn't have that before. So even when we played these guys, there were some throws that Stafford was hitting wide open, but it was play action. It was even, and they locked it up early very well. He had like a big run for a first down. But other than that, they were just shutting all that play
Yeah,
action.
after the first drive, it wasn't much,
Yeah,
and I expect that again Sunday.
yeah, absolutely. So, and then for me, just on all of that, man, it's just the preview. You know, we talk about it, call it divisional round preview. Not just with the birds, like I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody else does, just on the strength of everybody's like automatically saying that the Lions are going to win. And I'm like, this ain't even my hate. I'm just
Washington's
not a
winning that game.
believer in them jokers.
Washington, listen, Washington is winning that game.
I believe they can. I definitely believe
Kansas
they
City,
can.
Baltimore, Philadelphia, Washington.
What'd you say?
I said I ain't want to say it, but I'm definitely thinking it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't want to sound like it's all birds all day, every day. We got that, but we talk some other games. Listen,
yeah,
I think Detroit, especially, and I said it, and I'll call it how it is Jared Goff is still your quarterback, right?
Right. Yeah.
There you have it. Like we already know what he can do.
Detroit struggles with mobile quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
This is the Jaden Daniels coming out show. He had a really good game against Tampa Bay, but I think they try to blitz him and they try to get him off his spot. But Jaden Daniels takes off and uses his legs and keeps Washington in the game, and Washington wins a close one on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Washington wins.
I like Kansas City over Houston, though. I just don't think they're ready. Sure. Yeah, I just don't think they're ready.
I don't think they got enough.
Yeah.
They got enough.
Who was it? Baltimore and Buffalo?
Yeah. Baltimore and Buffalo.
And you know
Saquon Barkley 2 touchdowns, Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns, Washington money line, Kansas City with the Kansas City covers. It's 8.5. I think that's the only thing that bothers me. Like Kansas City is 8.5 right now, but I think it's going to be like Kansas City is going to be like a 20-10 game. Like the Texans ain't got enough to score. And Kansas City, Hollywood Brown, Kansas City looked bad all year. They got Hollywood Brown back. The offense seemed to open up a little bit. I don't think Texans can score more than 13 points against the Chiefs.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a 21. Like if it's 7.5, I would take Kansas City minus 7.5. But if it's 8.5, I think it's going to be like a 21-13 game.
But it's weird, man, because I think that after that first quarter, CJ woke up. It was the one, I forgot what the play was specifically, but CJ woke up, and he woke up, and you can see his confidence growing, right? Yeah. Now, I think they can give Pat a run, but it's just, is CJ going to be confident for one? And number two is that line going to block for him? Good Lord, that line doesn't block consistently.
Chris Jones.
Yeah, and then it's Stone Cold Jones out there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that scares me the most is if they block for CJ, they might give him a run. But if they don't and they get to him early and they get to him consistently, it's going to be over. It's going to be over in that game. And then in Detroit, I just don't think they have. I don't think they're going to have an issue. I don't think they're going to have a. I'm sorry. Let me say this. I don't think they are going to have a real scheme. Even though I like Aaron Glenn, what are they going to do? Who are you going to spy on him with? You going to spy on him with Branch? You going to Azzaloni? Who are you going to put on him?
He's Azzaloni toast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do. And it got to the point where, and we seen, and I love Todd Bowles in Tampa. I love him. But it got to the point where he got so scared, he didn't even want to blitz anymore. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's Detroit's bread and butter. Detroit's gonna blitz.
Yeah. And
Like they have to.
if he get out and around a couple times,
Man, listen.
what you gonna do? It's
Zach
tough.
Ertz, two tutties on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give y'all my parlay. This great make y'all some money, and then we Derrick Henry 2 tutties, Saquon Barkley 2 tutties, Zach Ertz 2 tutties, and then we gonna have a Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt gonna take 2 touchdowns from Pachinko, and put them all down for 2 tutties. It's like plus 23,000. You put $10 on that, you could call out work for the rest of the year.
He said, "Call out of work the rest of the year."
All right, fellas. So what do you think the score is going to be in all 4 games?
I don't know about all 4. That's tough. Shit. I don't know about all 4.
I'll start off. I think in the Eagles Rams game, I'm saying 30-21. I'll say that 30-21. I think in the Texans or Chiefs Texans game, 35-21. I take that, right? In the Detroit and Washington game, 38-27.
That's gonna be a high scoring affair.
Yeah, it's gonna be a high scoring affair, right? And then in Baltimore and Buffalo, 27-23.
Mm.
And this has to be the year for Lamar to get to the AFC Championship game. Well, to get to the Super Bowl, because I think Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say that. So I'm picking Baltimore in that game. I'm picking the Chiefs, picking the Eagles, obviously, and then I'm picking Washington to win. I'm picking Washington, even though Sonic and Knuckles is back. I think Dan Quinn is going to do something. At least, he ain't going to be able to stop them from completely running, but I think he can hold enough just to keep the game, keep Washington in the game. Because if it gets late, look, man, like Jaden is no longer a rookie. He's not a rookie, dude.
No,
he's the real deal.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now on that.
yeah, it's hard for me to pick. I was sitting there trying to look at like stat check and look at some things. I like us 31-14.
Okay.
And I say that just based off of what the score was last time and some missed opportunities. I could be overshooting. I wasn't too far off for the last game. I think I gave us 27 to something, and we ended up winning 22-10. I think I said 27-13 or something like that. We ended up winning 22-10. I think this particular week, 30. I can see 31-13 or 31-14, just something along those lines.
Yeah.
Scoring points it's going to be a little different because even in that first game, they got that last score, to make it look a little different. But, they really just had the 2 touchdowns, the Williams touchdown and the Robinson one versus a backup. So I ain't, whatever. Detroit, Washington, I'm thinking 38-34 Washington. I'm lunching. Baltimore, Buffalo, let's say 17-14. 17-14. Yeah, because I'm not thinking straight with the weather.
Yeah.
17-14.
Yeah, that's true.
So
True.
yeah, I'm not thinking straight. 17-14. And let's dial that Eagles joint back 24-10.
Okay.
24-10. And then um let's go with Kansas City 20 24-17 as well, almost. Yeah, somewhere along that.
Okay. All right, what you got, Marv?
24-13, Kansas City, Houston. I think that's going to go under. I think Kansas City will do uh, enough to do what they do. Like they not going to. They don't do enough to win the game.
Right.
I don't think the Texans have enough. So I think they cover. It's plus. It's 8.5. So I think it's 24-13.
Okay.
Washington, Detroit, 31-28. I think this is a shootout, and whoever gets the ball last wins. I think we're going to get. It's either going to be Ben Johnson versus Daniel Quinn for the game, or it's going to be Kingsbury versus Aaron Glenn for the game. And whatever team gets the ball last wins that game, and that is going to be a fun game to watch on Saturday night. Eagles, Rams, Eagles minus 6.5. I think if the weather is what they're calling for, you look at two things: who has the best offensive line, whose offensive line matches up better against whose defensive line. The Eagles have the better offensive line than the Rams do defensively,
Yeah.
and the Eagles have a better front seven, even without N'Kobe, than the Rams do offensively. So I think the Eagles, this is a game where Saquon and Gainwell both go crazy. I don't think Saquon's going to have 250
Right.
yards against the Rams, but I think we'll get a combination of close to 200 yards between Saquon and Gainwell and Hurts. And they're going to, we might witness a few 5, 6, 7 minute drives that eat the clock up, and they get out of they score. I think it'll be a 24-10, 24-17 type of game. I think that last seven the Rams get when the game's already out of reach. Um, but I think the Eagles are just really that much better than the Rams.
Gotcha.
And you get hot and cold Stafford. Like you get hot and cold Stafford. Stafford was really hot against the Vikings, but the Vikings couldn't generate any pressure. They couldn't get him off his spot. I think Vic comes up with something to speed up that internal clock and get him moving. So I really, really like the Eagles. And I'm not saying this because I'm Homer. I'm saying this because I think the Eagles are just way more talented than the Rams. And when it comes to this type of ball in this situation, the talent wins. Talent and coaching. I think the Rams have the edge coaching, head coaching, but I think Vic and Kellen Moore are better than McVay and Shula. So I think Kellen Moore has an answer for whatever Shula does, and Vic finds an answer for whatever McVay does. And they're at home, so the Eagles should win. And then you have Baltimore Buffalo. I think 22 goes crazy again. What he ran for 199 against them earlier this year.
Mm.
What's the
Yep.
difference? What's the difference? If Zay Flowers plays, if Zay Flowers plays uh, Baltimore by at least a touchdown, I know it's only a 1.5. It's Baltimore minus 1.5 now. But if Zay Flowers is healthy, uh, and the weather is the weather, the over is 51.5. If it goes over, it's because Baltimore scored 40.
Mm.
or Baltimore scored 35 and Buffalo gets 17. But I
Gotcha.
just think Baltimore goes in and dominates.
Gotcha. All right, fellas. Well, this has been a great show. Like I said, we try to bring this to the people every Thursday. Hopefully, after the games, provided
We
Lord willing, we'll be on probably after the game. Do a quick show. Just recapping everything that went on with the Eagles, man. We're gonna do that. Like I said, we're gonna do this every Thursday. Please hit that like and subscribe and share the channel so we can get more viewers going up, man. We're trying to do as best we can for the community, for the Eagles, man, for everybody else. Hey, let the people know where they can find y'all at, man, on the socials.
You know me, brother. I ain't got that, but because I feel like it, like you said, follow it, check us out. We talked about it last week, just getting our feet wet again, jumping back out here. Just expect to see, us knock off this rust and just enjoy what we do. Talking to birds, talking sports, talking life. As of right now, it's playoff time. So what else you want to talk about besides these playoffs and these beloved Eagles? So that's it.
Yeah. Swerve Griffin, the Black Jason Kelsey. The Sixers are ass.com. You can find me at any of the
I'm joking his ass, bro.
They are, bro.
We'll say that.
That's a topic we gonna see.
Yeah, we say that after football done. We gonna get to it. We gonna say
we
that.
Gonna get to that. Yeah. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank y'all for rocking with us, and we'll see y'all Sunday. Hopefully, we celebrating another victory, and we back at it on Thursday.
Yes, and
yes,
you can follow me. You can follow me at Imagine Life 2 on Blue Sky, man. Follow me or follow me on Marcus Blackstock on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Same thing on Instagram, man. But just we here, and we'll see y'all next week at 7:30, man. Y'all have a good evening.
All right.
Good evening.
All right.